What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of NBA to the Galaxy podcast, featuring your host, my man to the right of me, the Slim Reaper himself. You can find him on X at RTR30111. You like that one, Slim? And myself, you can find me at Scotty Drown. Happy Friday to all of you out there. You can see by the title of the live stream, we are going to be talking about the NBA conference finals that are approaching. We're not out of the semifinals just yet. We got two series to wrap up this weekend, which we should be seeing take place. And we'll have our picture for the Eastern and Western Conference finals as early next week. So that's an exciting time, man. We're going to find out who the Final Four of the NBA is. But before that, we're going to recap all that's taken place in the semis so far. So we'll start Pacers, Cavs. We'll go through, we'll go TWolves, Warriors, we'll go Boston, New York, and then we'll finish out with Denver and OKC. Before that, we're going to go draft lottery conversation because that did take place. I got my Sixers gear on today. I haven't worn it much this season, man, but I can wear it happily on this fine Friday with the third pick in the
Is
draft.
that the one I got you? Is that the
No, actually, bro, I'm Sixered out, dog. I actually got the one you got.
Oh, okay.
This my day-to-day, John. So I had to put the Ben Franklin John on today, but we locked in Sixered out.
Yeah,
it's the happiest I've been all season, Slim, and our season's over. So
well, that says a lot right there. So.
How's your Friday going, my man?
Hey, man, I'm doing good, man. Can't complain. You know, it's always fun when we link up and do this. And yeah, man, you hit it on the head. A lot of great topics to dive into on this pod today. But,
yes, sir.
Nonetheless, man, doing great, feeling great. And yeah, man, let's get to it.
I am glad to hear you're doing great, man. We're going to talk about the series later, obviously, with the Warriors. They went out this round, but not all to be upset about in a sense, right? We'll get into that a little bit later. But let's start here at the top, man, with the draft lottery. Obviously, that took place, I believe it was Monday evening before the NBA playoffs got started. I'll throw it to you first because I've gotten to talk about this a little bit on the Philly show, right? Yeah. But what is your like biggest wow moment or biggest takeaway from the results of the draft lottery? Like, what kind of blew your mind in a sense?
Well, I mean, what blew my mind, you know, it's kind of obvious. It was the number one overall pick went to the Dallas Mavericks. And I feel like at some point, man, like there has to be some type of change revolving around this because it's like, go back to last year even, you know, the Atlanta Hawks, they was a play-in team and they got the number one overall pick. Meanwhile, you got teams like Charlotte, Utah, Washington, like all these teams. Well, even last year, Detroit was a bad team. And it's like they're not the teams that's getting rewarded. While you have teams like Atlanta and now Dallas, you know, they got rewarded with those high overall picks. To be more exact, the number one overall pick. The Mavericks was in the play-in game this year. Last year, the Hawks was in the play-in game.
Yeah.
So it's like, at what point do we kind of like address it? Because the Mavericks had a 1.8 chance of getting that pick, and they got it. And, you know, if you Nico Harrison, you have to wake up feeling damn good that you traded Luka and get rewarded the number one overall pick. Maybe he knew something. Maybe he knew something we didn't know. That's kind of where my mind was leading to. For him to, you know, trade Luka and then get rewarded the number one overall pick. That's one heck of a, you know, a reward right there. But nonetheless, man, that's kind of where my mind shifted to. Like, you know, at what point do these bad teams get really rewarded? You know, not like Dallas. They was a team that was kind of competitive before Kyrie ever went down. Yeah. You know, so, yeah, that's kind of what my mind shifted to. The Dallas team.
I actually love that you started there because that was not where my mind was at, but I definitely feel everything that you brought to the table there because even from the Sixers standpoint, this season specifically, we had, I think, like the fifth worst record in the NBA this year. So
yeah, I did.
Technically, we should get the fifth best pick, right? If we went that way. But I was looking at it like, man, if we drop out of the top 6 and our pick goes to OKC, look at the rich getting richer, right? If that happens, imagine, to your point, how the Wizards, Hornets, even the Nets fans, right? Like some of these fans
Nets
out
too.
there.
Yeah, Nets. Yeah.
Like I would be miserable. Like, quite honestly, like, what are you supposed to do to get better as a team? Because the drop off, bro, it's not just that the Wizards and the Hornets didn't get the number 1 pick. They didn't even get in the top 3. And that's the thing with this class this year. There's a big drop off. Not a big. It's a drop off though after that 3rd pick, in my opinion. I think Cooper Flagg, Dylan Harper, Ace Bailey in that order. I think that is the consensus in my opinion. So for the Hornets, the Jazz, the Wizards, even the Pelicans, like, to not get into that top 3 is even wilder. And to your point, I don't know, because like they do the lottery to like deter tanking, right? Like, that's the idea. You can't sit here and try to lose every game and expect or guarantee the first pick in the draft.
Yeah.
But the other side of that is this, and we see the Mavs, they're going to get healthy next year. They'll have AD, they'll have Kyrie, they'll have Clay, they'll have everything they had plus Cooper Flagg. And everything they had got them to the play-in tournament, to your point. So I don't know how that is fair, but I don't know how to make it fair in the same sense.
Yeah. Like, isn't it kind of wild to think that the San Antonio Spurs were this close to getting Cooper Flagg with Wemby, De'Aaron Fox, and potentially Giannis? That is just, to me, man, like
insane.
Wow.
Like, what a come up in the last year for the Spurs. Like, even with the 2nd pick, though. Like, it's not Cooper Flagg, but to your point, you brought up Giannis, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You brought this to my attention. That 2nd pick isn't the only pick in the lottery that the Spurs have.
14, baby.
So they can pair those 2 picks. They can add in another pick or another 2 picks or another 3 picks if you want. First of all, let me put it this way. To your point, if I'm the Spurs, I would do whatever it takes to get Giannis on the squad. I would do whatever it takes. So if it is ultimately Stephon Castle that you have to include, it's not that I want to. I would do it if I was the Spurs, because I think they can go out and they can find another point guard. They can find another guard to add to that rotation. Mm-hmm. But what about you? Would you would you be willing to part ways with just about anything, like outside of Wemby and Fox?
Yeah, I could. I mean, I would say this. It would be hard to kind of get rid of Stephon, because it's just like his 2nd year, and it's like he just won Rookie of the Year.
And what's his ceiling?
He has been pretty good for this team. You can see the potential. I mean, he's athletic. He can get downhill. He was coming into his own for sure. So it definitely would be hard to do that. But to your point, man, if you want to go all in now, with Wemby, hey, why not? Giannis is.
Do you want to go all in with Wemby right now?
It's a good question. It really is. I mean, it depends. I mean, Darren Fox he ain't getting no younger, so you got to kind of make that stretch.
Good point. Good point. What about some of these other top picking teams?
I was just finna get to say that. You said Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey. I actually kept my eyes on VJ, man. I think that
I like him too.
He's a guy that shooting guard, got some height on him, pretty athletic. I feel like him going to potentially Utah, Charlotte be a good pickup for sure. So Charlotte, the 4th overall pick, Utah 5th, Washington 6th, New Orleans 7, Brooklyn 8, Toronto 9th, and Houston 10.
Yeah. So, I think to your point, like, the good thing compared to even last year's draft class, in my opinion, is that even outside of the top 5, I still think you can find some great value in these picks, man.
For sure. Like,
some really quality players.
Even last year, bro, me and you had to discuss it numerous of times. Like, to me, whoever could win Rookie of the Year was that wide open. Like, it wasn't just no certain person that could have won. Like, to your point, Jerry McCain, he had a pretty good season before he got injured. He was probably going to win Rookie of the Year. Then things shifted to Cassell, and started coming into his own, and Zachary, he started doing pretty good. So it could kind of be like this for this class. Like, It's a lot of good players in this draft class, no doubt for sure. But I will say this, man, with Houston though, I think eventually they're gonna have to make a decision because you can't keep bringing in these lottery picks. You know what I'm saying? You're not just
Yeah,
playing them because Reed Shepard last season he didn't really play at all. He was a third overall pick, so
which
at
is
some
crazy.
point you're gonna have to make a decision there. Like which way you want to go. You want to kind of compete, or do you want to keep, I guess rebuilding is the way to put it. So yeah.
Man, the Rockets are interesting because I did see a report, right? I don't know if you saw this as well, but I saw a report that they would be willing to include Sengun
Yeah, I've seen that.
in a deal for Giannis, which, right? They got what, the 10th pick in the draft right now? They have the 10th pick. Do they have another pick? No, doesn't look like it. I think they just have the 10th pick in this year's draft. I'm sure they have like draft comp in the future, but you pair that with Sengun, like, is that enough? Like, the number 2 pick is a lot different than the 10th pick
Yeah,
in a
it is.
sense.
It is. It is. I will say this though. I mean, Şengün was pretty good for the Rockets in the playoffs, so his
Yeah.
value should be. I want to say just up there, but it's up there. And if you match that with the 10th overall pick and maybe like a Cam Whitmore and like a between a Easton and Jabari Smith Jr., maybe that's enough to get Giannis. And like you said, they got more draft picks down the line. Maybe you throw that in there as well. And
Dude, let me ask you this, man. And I know this is a tough question, and maybe you wouldn't do it. Would you be willing to throw the Thompson twin in?
no, no, you can't do that, bro.
But
I'm
if you're
sorry.
Milwaukee, would that not be like one of your, like, give me the 10th pick, give me the big name right now, which maybe it's Sengun, maybe it's Jalen Green, whatever. Then you get to the next level of players, and it's like, yeah, like I would. Tari Eason is good, like great, like I love him as a role
Yeah,
player.
Jabari Smith Jr. too. Yeah.
But it's Giannis. Give me. Is it Amen? Amen's the one in Houston, right? Amen
Yeah, yeah,
Thompson.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Give me Amen Thompson. That's my line. Like, if you don't give me Thompson, I'm not doing it.
I can't do that. If I'm Houston,
I
I
respect
can't
it
do that.
though. I
I
respect
wouldn't do
that from
that.
you.
I
Yeah,
mean, that's no knock on Giannis. It's just that his Amen Thompson potential, dude, is like it's through the
nasty.
roof. Like
Yeah,
it's
all around player. Yeah,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was coming to his own. Like it's just his second year, so just imagine what year three gonna look like. So,
that's fair, man. That's fair.
but
So maybe that's the line they draw.
yeah. So do you have like any? I don't know, like between the top 10 picks, like any team you keep your eye on that you think that can, hit big on any player that can potentially make them better next season, or
Man,
well,
there.
obviously, well, hold on. I'm pretty sure, maybe besides your sixes, because it's,
I wasn't gonna go there. I wasn't gonna
Oh,
go there.
okay.
I was just gonna say earlier your point about VJ. If the Sixers took VJ Edgecombe, I would not be mad about that. Although I do
Okay.
think Ace is the consensus third best player, I would
Mhm.
take VJ happily. So just to make that clear, but when it comes to the top 10, it's not necessarily that I think a team, like, I know which team is gonna luck out, but I
Mhm.
will say this, man, and I know there's some bias that comes with it.
Yeah.
Kaman Malawach. I don't know if you've seen this kid. Like, he obviously played on Duke. He's a
That's the
7'2"
center, right?
center. Yeah.
Yeah.
He is a little soft. I will say that. Like, he is a little soft for his size, but you can get stronger and get a little bit tougher in the NBA. I think that can grow on you. But he's a 7'2" center. He can shoot the three ball. He can space the floor. He can hit the mid range. He's the best rim protector in the draft. And I think if you're a team, right?
Hmm.
I'm looking through this list, right? The
I'm
Raptors,
looking. I'm looking at Brooklyn.
the Nets,
Looking
that
at
rim
Brooklyn.
protector in Brooklyn,
Looking at
and
Brooklyn.
they have what, 3 other picks in this draft? Yeah, they have a
Hmm.
total of 4 picks, 4 first-round picks in this draft.
Hmm.
The Brooklyn
Four
Nets.
first round picks.
Yeah, so they have the 8th pick, they have the 19th pick, They have the 26th pick and they have the 27th pick.
That's okay.
So, yeah, I actually like your pick there. Brooklyn Nets with Kamen Malawach. I think him as a rim protector. I'll be honest, man. I see a lot of Embiid in this dude. Like, and I just can't help but make it that comparison. He's not nearly as skilled as Embiid yet. But the fact that he can shoot the three ball, he can shoot the mid range, makes me think that he's only 18 years old. He's just getting started. Like, he can develop that type of post up game, that elite type of game. It's hard to say he'll become Embiid, an MVP like level player. Hard to say that, but if he comes anything close to it, I mean, that's good enough. If he can just be your baseline rim protector, that's good enough. You know, a floor spacing rim protector. But I think the other side of that comparison, bro, somebody that just came to my mind as a complete bust. Oh, go ahead, guess. I don't think you're going to guess it.
Complete bust?
At this point, yes.
He's still in the league?
I don't know. I'm talking about Mo Bamba.
Oh, no, Mo. No, I think Mo went overseas.
Did he? That would make sense.
I think Mo went overseas.
He played for the Sixers 2-3 years ago, and then the Clippers, and then maybe he was out of the league.
Yeah, the Clippers traded him, and I think whatever team he got traded to, they cut him.
They cut him.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
You know what, man? Speaking of Mo, it's so crazy how the song Mo Bamba has more aura than him. You know, I think that song really put Mo on the map for real. Like, I ain't saying he wasn't a good player leading up to the draft, but that song really put Mo, you know.
It's fair. That's fair, bro. That's fair ball. Cause like I that's how I came to know Mo Bamba. Like, I think he played at Texas.
He played at Texas. He did.
Played at Texas.
Yeah.
And he was solid. He obviously had the size, the floor spacing, but that song, that's a good point. It's crazy how culture can kind of do that for you, bro. Like, grow your name to an extent.
I know, right?
So we'll see, man.
Yeah, like I had did you do your big board? Did you want to go through that, or because I had them?
Yeah. We can go through it real quick, bro. Top 10, just top 10.
Yeah, top 10. That's all I did.
Yeah. Where do you want to start? You want to start at? I guess we could start at 1 and work the way down. Just because
let's do 10 on that, man.
You want to do that? Because also you got the top 3 switched up. We'll see. We can start at 10. That's fine. That's fine. Give me your number 10.
Man, okay, Houston Rockets. I say Derek Queen from Maryland. Mm-hmm.
He's one of my favorite players in this draft. I won't lie to you. Yeah. I like Derek Queen. I actually have him I have him going a little bit earlier. But my number 10 is the boy out of South Carolina, Murray Boyles. He's this I believe he's 6'10". Let me get this right. 6'10" forward / center. He can really he's really athletic. He's something that I could see really fitting the Rockets and kind of their landscape. Give that balance, right, to Sengun, who's not ultra athletic, but he could also play next to Sengun. The only thing there is when you start getting into that conversation around Tari Eason and Amin Thompson and the amount of forwards or swing guys that they already have there in Houston. So I'm not against your Derek Queen pick either, man. That would be a great value for him if he ultimately fell down to them. Who you got at number 9?
Not gonna lie to you, maybe you can help me out with this. I do not know how to say this dude's name. He played at Illinois.
The 6'6" point guard. Let's say that.
Yeah. Casper I don't know. Like,
we can call him Casper, the friendly ghost.
Yeah. So nonetheless, you said the best 6'6" point guard. They can use the height because the man was quickly like 6'3". So regardless if they bring him off the bench, start him, I think he'd be a pretty good fit there. And then, Toronto, I have to say this, no Diddy, is known for like, long, tall, athletic type players being in that system, Pascal. That's
fair.
Kawhi. So I feel like a guy like that would probably thrive over there in that system. So
they could have like the all white backcourt, Grady Dick and
Yeah, man. Speaking of Grady Dick, man, it was this crazy thing with Anthony Black. It's just crazy to me. It's not a win with that like Black. But yeah, man, it's crazy, bro. Like
I know what you're getting at, man. Grady Dick. I just want to check his numbers last year.
he was pretty
14,
good though. My
14
Kansas
points.
boy. Yeah. My Jayhawk over there,
He
Grady
wasn't
Dick.
he was a great shooter for sure. With a little bit more. He has some athleticism too. 35% from the 3-point line. Yeah, man. I do actually I actually like that. I went with Fears from Oklahoma.
Okay.
That's if you that's low for Fears if you go by mock drafts that are out there by the analysts. For me, the thing that dropped Fears all the way down to here for me is just his height compared to the other guards that are available. But yeah, Kasparis, yeah, that's what I'm gonna roll with saying, isn't it? Kasparis,
Yeah.
Jack
So
Kuncionis.
yeah.
I don't know.
So we agree on that. That's the Toronto pick.
Point. I'll agree on guard. One or the
Okay.
other. Fears,
Oh, okay.
Kasparis, yeah, one or the other,
Okay.
nonetheless.
So number
Number
8,
8.
Brooklyn, man. So who you got for that?
I actually have Derek Queen right there.
Oh,
Funny enough.
Okay.
What about you? Who do you got?
Common. That's how you say his
Common.
name. Yeah, Common. That's what I got. I feel like he'd be a pretty good fit there. Because if I'm being honest, man, I think that Brooklyn may look to move Claxton this offseason because he's
Yeah,
making a fair amount of money. There's no reason to pay a guy like that. I mean, just
on their team. Yeah,
ship him off to a contender or something like that.
the
So I
Warriors.
feel like hey. I would not be opposed. I mean, I would not be against that. So yeah, man, Common though. Yeah, that's why I got Brooklyn drafting.
Yeah, I actually I think they're interchangeable there. To your point, I think Malawach, Derek Queen, either one would be a W for Brooklyn. They present two different things, though. Obviously, they have two different skill sets. I think Malawach is more of like the for sure thing in the sense of role player. Like at the very least, I think you're going to get a rim protector and a big that can shoot threes. Like that's his floor, in my opinion. So yeah, I like Malawach. I actually have Malawach going number 7 to the New Orleans Pelicans. Now I know they just drafted Missy, so maybe
Yeah,
they go
Missy.
more in the direction of Queen. Maybe that prototype
That's
as like that forward center
yeah,
fits them a little bit better. I went with more of like that Duke connection, so that there was a little bit of bias there.
yeah. There's no guarantee he's going to be there though. So, but now, that's what I was thinking too. Like I was thinking like Queen or Common, but I was like they just drafted a big last year. I don't think that they
They
do that
did.
again. So
Who do you got
that's
him
why.
drafted?
Well, I got he from Duke. Your other dude got Khan. Yeah.
Khan. I like that pick actually, man. I do because you can pair him if they ultimately end up moving some of these players that they've been trying to move, right?
Yeah.
But you pair another Duke player with Zion. Khan is a efficient shooter. You add him to the likes of like Trey Murphy the third. You're gonna
What
have
a
great
season
floor
he's had.
spacing. Yeah. So I actually like that. I like that pick.
Yeah.
Next we got the Wizards, right?
Wait, so who you got for the Pelicans? Oh, you said Queen or no? You said
No, I had
Common.
Malawach. I had
Oh yeah.
Malawach.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And then Queen was to the Nets. I had Queen to
Next.
the
Okay.
Nets. You can switch those back and forth though, either way.
Yeah.
So 6 would be the Washington Wizards pick.
Mm-hmm.
And that is ultimately where I do have Khan going.
Okay. So for me, for the Wizards, man, I got Trey Johnson from
I like it.
Texas.
I
Yeah.
like it. I like it. I have
Another
him in my top
guard.
5.
Yeah, another guard. To go out there and Washington got a lot of guards, bro. Like they got is it Carlington? They got AJ Johnson, Jordan Poole. Now they got Marcus Smart. I guess you consider Chris Middleton a guard, a wing, however you want to look at it, but they got a lot of
Marcus
guards out
Smart's
there for
got to
sure.
go. Chris Middleton's got to go, right? Like these guys need to go like
Yeah.
play for like contenders or playoff teams or something.
That's the truth, yeah.
No, I like that pick because he's Trey. The thing about him, he's arguably the most like I don't know how to phrase it. Like I don't want to say the best scorer, but like the most efficient scorer, shooter, if that makes sense. I like his game a lot. I ultimately have him going number 5 to the Jazz. So I think you know what? Now that you said now that you put it that way, the Jazz will just take Khan. He's white.
Oh, come on, man. Yeah.
But I have the Jazz taking Trey Johnson from Texas ultimately. Yeah. So we just have those flipped.
Man, the Jazz finna file a lawsuit against the pod, man. No, Utah, bro. I actually got either Trey Jones or Jeremiah Fears. You kind of alluded on how Fears is. You know, he played at Oklahoma point guard, so
yeah,
I feel like it'll be a pretty good fit for them because I think that sooner than later they move on from Sexton or either Sexton or Clarkson or both of them. So and just go fully on the rebuild. So yeah, I think a guy like Fears would be a good fit for them. As they got Isaiah Collier, he was pretty good last year.
No, that's a great point with the Jazz. Fears is interesting, man, against the field because you can argue that he maybe has one of the better skill sets for the guards, but he's one of the shorter guards, and that's why he fell on my board. But
yeah,
he is arguably a top 4, top 5 pick in the draft for sure. So if the Jazz ultimately take him, that's not going to be a bad pick. I think we are going to have the same number 4. I went VJ to the Hornets.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, VJ from Baylor.
Yeah.
Kind of a no-brainer right there. So I think that'd be a pretty good fit for them. LaMelo, Brandon Miller, VJ.
The guy I wanted to point out from the Jazz. I was looking it up while you're talking there, but Keontae George. They also have him back there as well.
Yeah, Keontae, yeah. How could I forget about him?
Yeah, you're right, though. They will have to get rid of Clarkson or maybe Clarkson and Sexton, quite honestly. I mean, both of those guys can go contribute on playoff teams.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So VJ, number 4.
Yeah, both of us got VJ.
So maybe VJ, maybe I can add that in. Like maybe VJ is a consensus number 4.
Mm-hmm.
Sixers, I have the Sixers taking Ace Bailey, and if they don't, I mean, I'm not gonna be mad. It's just gonna be like annoying if that makes sense.
He's like what 6'9",
6'9". He measured at 6'10", but that's with shoes on.
Yeah.
So
you think that he would start for you guys, or he would have to just like see how he doing training camp or something? Because the way I look at it, I think he could start. Because when you look at, so I'm assuming maybe if y'all keep Grimes, Maxi, Grimes, PG, Ace, Joel, McCain off the bench. How much does Ace weigh?
He's thin. Yeah, because you're asking as far as like a power forward.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like him, getting messed up against the likes of Aaron Gordon or, KD, Greek, guys like that. So,
well, if we're lucky, those guys will all be out west. But to your point, even a guy like Pascal Siakam, right, who's going to the Eastern Conference Finals again.
So
yeah, Evan Mobley. Yeah, great point. One thing I'll say is I think Paul George could play a little bit of 4 as well. In his old age, right?
Hold up.
A little bit slower feet.
Hold up, though. But that Paul George, was it this year he was complaining about playing center or something like that?
Hey, because they had some crazy lineups out there when Joel was out, man. Yeah. I mean, we should have Yabusele back, which will help. But I like him off the bench, just some energy.
Yeah, that's why I say like him and McCain could be a pretty good, duo.
But I think to that point, man, if you bring Yabusele back, you draft Ace Bailey. Maybe it's one of those, if you're going against the Cavs, maybe you have to start Yabusele instead of Ace, and maybe he just comes off the bench in that specific matchup. I don't know, but overall, I would start him just to get him like
his confidence.
integrated.
Yeah,
You know
right.
what I
'Cause
mean?
he a bucket though. He's a bucket for sure.
Exactly. And
So
every team needs that. So
yeah, you guys can use a young fella like that. He's athletic, so
I
yeah.
just imagine Maxey, McCain, Grimes, Ace. That's our like future. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah,
all we got
the young
after
fellas,
Embiid.
yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So then Dylan Harper to the Spurs,
Yep.
and
Dylan
then
Harper.
Coop
Cooper
to the
Flag.
Mavs.
Cooper
Mavs
to the
said
man.
that's a no brainer for them.
Man, you know what, man, real quick before we move on. You
Yeah.
know what's so crazy, bro? Maybe it's just me, maybe I'm just effed up in the head like this. I
Don't
said to myself, bro, I was
say
just
that.
sitting on my couch thinking. I said, you know what, bro? What if Nico Harris just do the most craziest shit ever? And he fooled everybody. And this man don't even take Cooper Flag with the number one overall pick. I said to myself, bro, I think that the Mavericks fans are going to assassinate that dude, bro.
If that don't get you fired, I don't know what would, bro. I really don't know what would.
Like,
It's
that
so
would be.
funny because I went on ESPN, right, to look at their big board and check out some of their mock drafts. When you are on like the draft page of the NBA, like page on the ESPN app,
Yeah.
it says the Mavs are on the clock. Cooper Flag is the best available, but it says Dylan Harper is the best fit. 6'6" guard out of Rutgers. And I
So
do just think like Kyrie a little bit older, Clay a little bit older.
it is
Would
true,
they
though. I
would
mean,
they mess around and take a guard? I don't know. I don't think so. I
no,
don't
that
think
you
so.
can't do that, bro. Like, I'm
You
sorry,
can't do
you
it.
can't do that.
No,
You cannot do that, bro.
you can't do it.
You have to
I
take the
agree.
best talent available. It's quite honestly that simple. So,
And you're
it's
talking
not
about a
about the fit.
generational.
It's not about the fit. You make him fit into
Exactly.
that system over there in Dallas. So
Because man, what I mean, on Dallas, Cooper is probably going to play the 3. Do I sound crazy saying that? Like,
no,
he
I mean,
obviously has to get his shot down at the NBA level in order to prove
yeah.
that he can play the 3. But you have
Uh,
AD and you have
yeah,
Lively.
that's what I was saying. Because AD actually is a full like that's. I'm pretty sure he's happy going to
Yeah,
Dallas because he's a power forward now. Like
yeah.
he told the Lakers he didn't want to play center in so many words. So he have the luxury to do that when you have Gafford and Lively. So I think that Cooper Flag is for sure a 3. Maybe they could be toxic and put him at the 2 sometimes.
I mean, that would be a crazy lineup for sure. Because you
Yeah,
still have what PJ
yeah.
Washington down there, and you have
I forgot
Najee
all about him. Yeah, you still
Najee
got Pete.
Marshall.
Yeah, yeah.
So they got a squad, nonetheless.
They
Just
need some
draft
more
Cooper
point
Flag.
guards though for sure though.
They do, because Kyrie
Yeah.
probably isn't going to start the
Ye-
season.
Yeah, he probably come
Healthy.
back maybe sometime February, March, something like that. I don't know. He's going to be
That's a
out though.
long
So
time.
yeah, he's going to be out. So they definitely need a point guard for sure.
Yeah, because they in the play-in they had Najee Marshall running point guard. Is that
Yeah,
right?
they had like Marshall out there. They had PJ, Clay, D Live, and AD. Even AD was bringing the ball up.
Yeah,
You know,
you aren't lying, yo. AD was definitely bringing that ball up, bro. Man, yeah, Mavs, just do what you're
do the
supposed to
right
do.
thing.
Yeah, do the right thing. Don't
Yeah,
overthink it. Don't
yeah.
be Nico Harrison. You could just go out and be the Mavs and draft the best player available.
Yeah.
But anything else before we move on? We definitely spent a lot more time
Yeah,
than I
we
thought
did. We definitely did. But
on
nah,
that.
that's it, man. Let's talk about
Let's
these
move on.
playoff series, bro. Let's get to it, man.
Let's go Indiana and Cleveland to start here. That's the series that finished first, right? The Pacers get the Cavs out of there 4-1. I mean, it's a little surprising. You throw in the injuries, and I guess it makes it a little less surprising. But 4-1. What are your thoughts coming out of this series? Just initial thoughts. Any indictments on the Cavs? Where are you at coming out of this Indiana Cleveland series?
My guy Jared Allen said it best. Lights were brighter than expected, and it showed. I mean, to your point, they definitely dealt with some injuries. But the reason I said that quote from him is because when you look at a guy like Ty Jerome, I mean, just beyond horrible in these playoffs. I mean, just no better way to put it. I mean, the man shot like 1 for 14. I think it was in game 2. That's just unacceptable for you to be a key player on this team. And not only that, like he didn't respond like at all in this series. Like he just was bad. I think he averaged like 8 points per game. It was just that bad for him. But nah, man, Donovan Mitchell showed that it's gonna have to take more than just him. Because in game one, no, was it game two? I think he dropped like 45 points, almost 50 points, and it just
Yeah.
simply was not enough. And me and you both has been on the Pacers hype train, just saying like these guys got a lot of guys who can score the ball over there. Obi, TJ McConnell, Matherin, Neesmith, Pascal, Miles Turner,
Yeah.
like all those guys can have a game. And when you look at the Cleveland side of things, like the others, like I said, Ty Jerome, he was pretty bad. Darius Garland was battling with injuries. He was solid, but could have been better. Same thing with Allen, definitely could have been better. Mobley, he was pretty good, I'd say. DeAndre Hunter definitely could have gave you more. But no, man, I just think that when you look at it from the standpoint of like the success that the Cavs had, like all season long, just the
Yeah.
records they were breaking and getting guys, all stars, appearances, and things like that. It just when you get to the playoffs, man, none of that shit matters if you think about it. Like it's a different season. It's just the real one shows up in the playoffs. So Donovan Mitchell did the best he could, but ultimately the Pacers role players and their stars, were a better team in this situation. So
Yeah.
yeah, I
No.
was going to bring it up too much, but we got another segment for this. So you know,
Fair enough. Fair enough. No, I actually agree with you, man. I think if you leave this season as a Cavs fan or as a Cavs player, there's just a lot of uncertainty in the air.
it is, man. It is.
I think my mind immediately goes to Darius Garland, and my thoughts go to moving him.
I agree.
I I just think you got to bring in somebody that complements D Mitch a little bit better, somebody that's a little bit more reliable. And I think Darius Garland is still young enough, still has some uncovered talent that maybe he could let loose in a different situation. That he would still have some decent value in this league to get you something in return that, a starting level shooting guard or point guard to go next to Donovan Mitchell. I think the big thing you need a guard with more size.
Yeah, I was
I
just gonna
think when
say
you're looking at Tyrese Halliburton, this dude is what, like 6'5",
6'5".
6'6"?
Yeah, 6'5". Yeah.
Yeah, so a lengthy, long arm, tall guard. Um, I mentioned his name, so I just have to say it. Like Tyrese Halliburton, by the way, I don't like clutch. I don't know what to call it. Like big stones, right? Like I saw him do the one celebration after the big shots in this series, but like he just has this instinct that is unlike any other players, and I say this almost as like a good and a bad thing. He doesn't take as many shots as a Donovan Mitchell would need, right, to get hot or
Right.
to hit a big shot in the clutch moment. That game, what was that, game 5 or game 4, that where they came back right at the end, Halliburton
He,
hits
he
the
hit the
three to
game
win it.
winner.
He only took
I think
like
that was
2 or
game
3
5.
threes in that game,
Yeah.
and I think he might have only taken 2, or he might have went 3 for 3 or 2 for 2 in that game. He's so efficient, is what I'm getting at. He shot like 49% from the 3-point line. He only took 4 shots per game in this series. So he's so efficient. He doesn't need the ball, which is great for his teammates. It lets them get rhythm. It lets them get going in the games. And he can just show up in the fourth quarter, hit some big shots, get in the lane, finish over people. And all of a sudden, the Pacers are in the Eastern Conference Finals again.
Again.
So I
Again.
don't know. The numbers don't always show up there with him, right? Like the gaudy numbers, but it's in the big moments, man. This dude is legit.
Yeah. The most
At that point, he's the
overrated,
MVP of the series for me. So.
the most overrated player in the league, by the way, Tyrese Halliburton. That's what they said.
It's weird how narratives can change in just such a short amount of time, right? Because if you told me that maybe even at the end of the at the end of the regular season, I may have agreed.
Yeah.
Maybe. But now, I mean, that just sounds foolish. Just two playoff series later. It sounds
I will
foolish.
say this though, like even if you do say he's overrated, he's definitely not the most overrated player in the league.
No,
Like, that's just ridiculous to me.
no,
To
yeah,
even just say
that's
that,
some hater stuff. You know what I mean? That's hater.
yeah.
Who's your MVP of this series?
Halliburton for sure. I mean, he averaged 17 points per game, 7 assists, 4 rebounds, and he shot 46% from 3-point range. To your point, like Donovan Mitchell averaged like over 30 some points in this series, but Tyrese Halliburton didn't have to do that. He was pretty much doing the other things that contributes to winning. So yeah, man, I got to give Halliburton the MVP of this series, man. He was definitely great. He was a leader, and it showed. He was just it's saying that he rushed the confidence to his teammates, and those guys was going out there and balling. So
Yeah,
yeah, man, Tyrese Halliburton is the MVP of this series for me.
I do agree. Obviously, I already went through my spiel on Hallie, but I agree with everything you said. The only other guy that I would mention there, who I thought about, but just Hallie's the guy, like obviously. But the other guy I thought about, not Pascal,
Let me
but
guess.
Miles Turner.
Miles Turner, yeah.
He had a
Miles
series,
Turner.
bro.
He
He's a
had his
dog.
moments. He had his moments for sure. He had
He's
his
a dog.
moments.
He's a dog. What do you think about this?
They could. I mean, they got the assets to make it happen. Yeah.
Darius Garland and what?
I think you should do Garland and Allen. Um, Garland Allen to get KD, but also you're going to need to get another good piece from Phoenix. Whether it be a big or something. I don't know. But
Yeah,
I think it's time to move Mobley to the 5. I'm being honest. Just the way the league is
I
transitioning.
like that idea. I
Yeah.
like that idea. It is interesting because you think it presents like a mismatch for the other team, but sometimes it can be a real mismatch for them as well. And I think that's what they ran into, part of what they ran into in the postseason. Biggest disappointment of the series.
Oh, man, I got plenty, man. Uh, man, the Cavs got exposed for how soft they are. I mean, dude, you can just tell that they was getting punked. They lacked just that dogness in them, like
Yeah.
just the little things, just bringing that tenacity, just fighting on the glass and down for loose balls. All those little things that translate to winning. And it showed, man. The Cavaliers are soft. Even their fans were saying is like, they needed like a Draymond type of dude on the team. As crazy as that may sound, somebody that's going to go over the edge and die for this team. Some would have thought it was Tristan Thompson, but that's not the case here. But that was the number one thing for me. The guys exposed how soft they are. Number two, their shooting regressed, bro. Like Max Strus shot 34% from 3-point range in this series. Donovan Mitchell 24%. Ty Jerome 25%. Darius Garland 23%.
Mm.
That's just not going to work, bro. Especially a team like this who was, I'm pretty sure, top 5 in 3-pointers made in the league this past season.
Yeah.
So the shooting didn't translate, and that was a huge problem for them. You got to have your shooters knocking down their shots. Because even when they went home, their role players, to be more exact, Ty Jerome was just not getting it done. So, yeah. And lastly, man, I say they relied on ISO play too much for my liking. Like, I just seen too much ISO going on. To be more exact, Donovan Mitchell. Like,
Yeah.
that's not you guys' offense. Just, ISO. Like, nah, bro. You got to keep the ball moving. Even when guys are struggling to make their shots, you just got to come up with something. So, yeah, then my guy Marshawn hit on the head. Max Strus, he said something going into game 6. He said, if you don't believe, don't show up to work. And he proceeded to finish the game 0 for 9 from the field. Bro read the story of the 2016 Cavs and thought it was LeBron, man. So, but hey, I appreciate the confidence though. You're down 3-1. Hey.
I thought the Cavs were going to win that game specifically. Like that game, like I didn't think they would get gentlemen swept, but to your point, soft. I mean, where's the dignity? Like,
Yeah.
do you have any pride to, for the 1 seed that you garnered this season, right? To represent. And it's funny, man. You brought that up thinking about them Hawks from back in the day.
You know what, man? It's crazy because we had this conversation on the pod, bro. We really did. And it's so crazy, man, how things ended for them.
They tricked me though. By the end of the season, I was a believer. They tricked me.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm better. I picked them in this series, right?
Yeah. Because I had the Cavs in 7. I ain't backing down from it.
I think I think to your point, yeah, my biggest disappointment for the Cavs this series was probably the role players, right?
Mhm.
Those guys, and they're supposed to be stars in their roles. Like Ty Jerome was getting consideration for sixth man of the, or he got most improved player, right? Or am I tripping?
I think he was a 6 man of the year candidate for sure.
Candidate,
Yeah,
finalist, right?
yeah, finalist. Yeah, finalist. Yeah,
Finalist. That's
yeah.
where I'm getting confused. So Ty Jerome is supposed to be this spark plug off the bench,
Right,
right?
right.
And you know who it brings to mind? Malik Monk.
Malik Monk. Yeah,
And I bring him up because he was a guy that you could put him as sixth man and he'll cook. You could put him in the starting lineup and he'll cook.
mm-hmm.
Ty Jerome proved that he cannot do that. I guess he needs other guys around him, like everybody
Well,
around him to an
that
extent.
is
But he
true.
shot horribly.
It is true, and I will say that to that point, I don't think that this was a series with Ty Jerome. Like how fast they was playing, bro.
That's a good
You know,
point too.
Ty Jerome is more so like your old school, slow the game down type of
That's
point
fair.
guard. You know, the pace was getting up and down the court. I don't think that was a good thing for.
Is that why the Pacers are so good? Just on that point right there, like, is that part of because they made back-to-back trips to the Eastern Conference Finals? Like, that's not an accident.
No, it's not an accident. Like people would bring up injuries, but bro, we're being honest here. You know, you can't just think like it's not these guys' fault that their
Right.
opponents getting injured, bro. Like what they
Everybody
supposed to
deals
do
with
just
injuries.
yeah, like what they supposed to do just slack up because Evan Mobley dealing with an ankle injury,
Right.
DeAndre Hunter hurt his wrist. Like no, bro, it's a cold world we live in. You better buckle up, son. So hey, shout out to
Quote of the
Indiana.
day.
Shout out to Indiana, man, because a lot of people say it was a fairy tale run, and hey, back to back conference finals in a year. So
Let me ask
yeah.
you one more question regarding that series. We'll move to the Western Conference here. But can the Pacers win it all?
I will say this. I think that the way things are clicking for them, they can.
They can.
They can, bro. Like I've said this a million times. The fact that a guy like Andrew Nimhard can be the guy to kind of close the game for them. Like they're running the offense through him, whether he making plays or getting to the bucket or whatever the case may be, or getting to the rim and getting the bucket.
Yeah.
That says a lot, bro. Like not Pascal Siakam, not Miles Turner, not even Tyrese Halliburton, Andrew Nimhard. Like that's the guy they're giving the ball to in the clutch. So, you know,
Yeah.
I think they got a chance for sure.
Andrew Nimhard, to your point, is averaging 14 points, 6 assists on 51% from the field and 50% from the 3-point line.
6'4" guard, by the way, shooting 51% from the field. Wow.
That's incredible, yo. Like, that's incredible. Like, I don't know. Hey, he's a star in his role. Like, if that's what you want to call him, a role player, he's a star in his role.
Him and Neesmith, because Neesmith is doing a pretty good job.
Neesmith has found himself in Indiana, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
He's a baller.
Nimhard from Gonzaga, right? Isn't he from Gonzaga?
I think now that you say that, he looks like a Gonzaga. Yeah, he is. He is.
You know what, man? It all makes sense to me. I'm not gonna lie. It makes so much sense.
The way he plays, because he's smart too. He's very smart.
It makes sense, bro. Like I've been keeping up with a lot of Gonzaga dudes since they came into the league, like Kelly Olynyk. You know, the list goes on, but yeah,
they make themselves useful.
For sure.
If that makes sense.
It translates to the league. Huh?
Let's talk about your Warriors real quick, man. Not real quick. We'll spend some time here, obviously. TWolves 4, Warriors 1. We're talking about the series, 4-1 win for the Wolves. How are you feeling? Let me start there. Let's be fair here. How are you feeling coming out of this series?
I mean, I say like you got to give kudos to Minnesota. Like a lot of Warriors fans are like living in this world of the what ifs, but me, I'm not going to do that, bro. Like. If you would drive yourself crazy just thinking like, oh man, if Steph would have played, would have been a different outcome. Like, no, bro. Like,
yeah,
you know, you got to give props to Minnesota, bro. Like, to be more exact, Julius motherfucking runner, bro. Like, my dude was serving Draymond Green, bro. How you want it, have it.
Incredible.
Way. Like, he was just cooking the whole team. Like, to be fair though, I don't know if you watched every game or watch like just about every play. But to be fair though, man, I will say this: there is no way you're going to make me not believe this. That to a certain degree, Julius Randle had a magnet ball, bro. Because some of the shots he was hitting, bro, was just unrealistic and
I feel
crazy.
you.
It's out of his element to make some of those shots, bro. Like, but nonetheless, he gave it to us, bro. Like Anthony Edwards was really good. And shout out to Anthony Edwards though, man, because he really showed some growth to me in this series. The reason I say that is because he was not forcing the issue with us. Like he was just letting Julius Randle do his thing. He was
Yeah,
kind of taking a step back. He knew there were certain moments in different games during this series where he had to step up and kind of get it done. But he just let Julius Randle do his thing. So I had to commend him on that, as well as Rudy Gobert, man. He was unfortunately great for them. He was, he was doing things that a 4-time defense player of the year does, and so I just have to give those guys that credit, man. On my end, obviously Steph got injured, but just got to move on, man. Try to get better in the offseason. It is what it is.
yeah. I think at the end of the day, from just looking at things from your perspective with the Warriors, you got Jimmy at the trade deadline or a little bit before it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You need an off season. Let them mesh together even more. Let Steph get healthy. Next season, you won't have the first half of the year where Steph has to carry the team. So maybe he can stay healthier next year and not have to worry about that hammy as much.
Right.
To your point about the TWolves, I think you respect because you made great points, and I think it's exactly what ultimately won them this series. I went with the MVP of the series. I actually went with Julius Randle, man. As much as I like Ant and I love the way Ant did. To your point, I think he took a step back in some cases, and
Sure.
the magnet ball thing. You are not lying, bro. I mean, some of the shots from beyond the 3-point line,
It's crazy to me, dude.
I don't even know how to I don't even know how to display it because it was just so awkward and abstract. Some of the shit he was hitting, but it's so funny because that's the shit that he gets criticized for when he's having horrible shooting nights. It's those shots that he's missing that he is just getting thrown under the table for. So he had a great series. At the end of the day, he was doing all the right things. I think what impressed me the most was filling the other box parts of the box score, right? The assists, the rebounding, the passing. That's kind of what I've been waiting for from Randall. You see flashes of it in the past, but he would always just solely rely on the scoring and trying to shoot his way out of slumps. In this series, he had a triple-double in one of the games. He had 11 assists.
11 assists, career high, playoff career high.
Yeah, so I mean, he was doing a lot in this. He was playing defense. This team has him locked in another level defensively as well. I think he's playing just maybe it was getting shipped out of New York, man, and being the odd man out. Maybe that's what it is. He knows he has to work his ass off with this team. Maybe it's the culture Minnesota has. I don't know. It seems like he's playing a lot harder and smarter with this TWolves team.
Yeah, for sure.
25 points per game, 7 rebounds, 7 assists per game on 30% from the 3-point line. Not great. But once again, didn't jack shots up. That's the big thing when you're not shooting great from the 3-point line. And then 96% from the free throw line. So
that is ridiculous to me, bro.
Thought he balled out.
It's crazy. But no, man, that's what I got. I mean, no other choice to me is Rondo to be the MVP of the series. I mean, you hit it on the head. All his stats, I got it listed right here. 96% from the free throw line to be a big man is just impressive.
Yeah,
it really is. And he was great, bro. He was great this whole series. I have to commend him. Congratulations to him. He just had a newborn. He was locked in this whole series. It's a contract year for him. It's a lot at stake here.
Yeah.
So he's balling his ass out this whole playoff. He's just
that's why he's playing hard for sure.
Yeah, contract year. He just had a newborn. So, but no, man, I gained a little bit more respect for Rondo. Just the way he's been playing, bro. He's not forcing it, bro. He's just coming naturally to him. And it's been nice to see him cook the way he has been cooking. So shout out to Julius, man. He fucked Draymond up this whole series. Just the best way to put it. So yeah.
Who's your biggest disappointment?
I I would have to say Steph. Like him getting injured, that was the biggest disappointment for me. Like in game one, he was cooking. Before he went down, you can tell he's gonna have a big night for sure because the way they was guarding him, like it was just single coverage. Nobody was double teaming him or nothing. So he was gonna have his way if Nikhil Alexander Walker was gonna keep guarding him, or
Yeah.
even Jaden McDaniels. So yeah, it just sucks, man. Injury, man, is just an unfortunate part of the game, bro. We seen a lot of the all time greats go down, man. But yeah, that was the biggest disappointment for me. Obviously, like really quick, like you would say, if most Warriors fans would say Jimmy Butler or even Draymond. But the way I look at it, bro, we ain't winning shit without Steph, bro. Like this team is built around him. We can try to steal games, but we ain't going far. So, you can bring up the fact we paying Jimmy Butler $60 million and he only shot 11 shots in game five. But at the end of the day, man, we've been playing playoff basketball since February, bro. We was the 11th seed when we got Jimmy. So we
Yeah.
made it this far, bro. It's just it took a toll on those guys' body and the show. So
Yeah, I think that's fair, man. It's just it's funny, man. I went with like a bright spot disappointment. And like my disappointment was that Kuminga fell out of the rotation at some point for
I was
whatever
told he was
reason.
unplayable.
Cause look at how he came in out of nowhere and just played his ass off, played at a high level. Imagine if he played in the first round at all. Imagine if he played down the stretch of the regular season. Like Kuminga is not a replacement for Steph Curry. Like that just doesn't even make sense to me. So
Yeah.
I think that was my biggest disappointment. I thought about Jimmy. I don't think it's fair. Like he came there to play with Steph. You know what I mean? Like so now you're number one now. Take us to the promised land. Like no, I don't think that's fair either. I thought Buddy Hield stepped up. You got a big game from Pods in that game 5, I believe it was.
Yeah.
I think it's, to your point, the injury to Steph, and then on the other side of it, just the fact that Kuminga was never in the rotation, had the chemistry with the team, but he comes in and he looks like the best player at times. And now you're going to trade him. It's a weird situation with him, man.
It's been weird, bro. It's been so weird, man.
No.
Like with Kuminga though, bro, like he's defensively, bro. He was doing a pretty good job on Anthony Edwards, bro. It was containing.
He's athletic. It makes sense.
Yeah, and then offensively, bro, he was getting buckets. Yeah, I just find it to be funny that most Warriors fans was saying he's unplayable, and that a guy like Pat Spencer deserves to play over him. Just dumb shit, bro. Shit
That's
really
crazy.
pisses me off, bro. Like,
that's insanity. That's insanity. Like, yeah, that I don't know. You could look back on that one, maybe not because Steph is still here, Jimmy's here, and maybe you guys get something out of it at the end of it, next season or the season after that. But I just feel like Kuminga, that was kind of a fumble. Got to see how he pans out with somebody else, though, if that is ultimately the route the Warriors go. I just wanted to comment on Martian's comment here.
Yeah,
Slim's a tough son of a gun, in case you ain't noticed.
hey, I'll be honest. So, Julius Randle, he cooked us, and he hurt my feelings. I got to be honest about this stuff. But no, man, Coach Steve Kerr, bro, he has to do a better job of, with these young fellas, bro. Like, it just makes zero sense. A talent like that, just DNPs, bro. This man averaged over 23 points in his last 4 or 3 playoffs game. Like that's just crazy to me, bro.
Yeah, no, that was definitely an L by Steve Kerr. Warriors losing the series. Transitioning right into the series that are still ongoing this weekend. I did just want to ask you this one question. And maybe you don't feel that SGA is the face of the league yet.
Okay.
And SGA, maybe it's somebody else. Face of the league.
It's like I would say Ant, but he has come out and say he don't want to be the face of the NBA though.
But he might get it anyways, if that makes sense.
It does, but the thing with Ant, man, he's just so him that the way he can talk and stuff.
Says wild.
Yeah, it's not just really professional, I'd say. So I don't know how that would look.
He paid his baby mama off.
Yeah, stuff like that. And as well as the way he talked, like, saying certain words like, my nigga, shit like that. So it's like
Slim out here. Spread the culture on the show.
So like you know, saying stuff like that to be the face of the NBA. I don't know. I think SGA is more well suited to be the face. Like he's a pretty quiet dude. Obviously he has his Instagram captions
Fair.
things going on over there, but he's a pretty modest dude, I'd say. And my
That
bad
is
for
fair.
saying that. I shouldn't have said that,
You
bro.
are
My bad.
good, bro. I mean, you're good on my end. I don't know about the viewers, but you good on my end, bro. It slips here and there. We use it from time to time. It's okay, man. But I feel you. I feel you. The fact that Ant would say it on like national
That's what I'm
television is a
saying,
little
though, bro.
different.
Like, yeah.
No, switching lanes, right? And we'll finish out with the game that's tonight. Let's go OKC and Denver from last night real quick.
Okay.
Denver, they even up the series.
Yeah.
You get some primetime performances across the board.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to game 7, and I'll be honest, I was confident. You were right. Hey, you were right about this one. You were right about this one to an extent, right? I don't remember. Did you pick OKC or did you pick Denver?
Talking about to win the series?
Yeah, like I don't remember.
I picked Denver, and I said, and you said that
I picked OKC.
was closing this game out the other day. Well, last night I said no, Denver.
Oh, I said OKC was beating them in 5. So I was wrong a game or so ago. Yeah. But I'll say this and I'll throw it to you. I am now unsure. Whereas I was very confident, even after the game 1 loss for OKC, that OKC would come out and get this done. I'm very unsure. And it's not because of Jokic. Jokic, you're gonna get good games from Jokic. The fact that you can get a good game from Strother off the bench is nuts. Christian Brown. I always call him Braun. I don't know why I do it. It's just natural, man. I see the spelling. I see the spelling in my eyes, and it just says Braun. But Brown. Chris Brown, right?
Chill out, bro. Chill out, bro.
23, 11, and 5 last night, though, Slim.
Huge, bro. That's big time.
23, 11, and 5. I didn't know that he could do that. My only concern for Denver moving forward is that hammy, that quad, whatever that was for Aaron Gordon at the end of the game. Yeah, he was grabbing at it towards the end. It was like the final possessions. I don't like that because he's obviously significantly important to that team. But what are your takeaways, man? Coming out of the game last night, this series as a whole, okay. Where are you at?
Man, I have to start off with this on the OKC side of things. Where the hell has Jalen Williams been at? Like, let's just call it the way we see it. Last night was just beyond horrible. Like, there's literally no better way to put this. My man was on a fast break and fucking missed a wide open dunk. Like, what are we doing?
He got blocked on one, right?
Yeah.
And then missed the wide open one, the next one.
Just missed. Like, I don't know if it's a confidence thing. No, don't get me wrong. This is his first time being here. I will say that. I said it best. Jared Allen said it best. Sometimes the lights are bright. Then then you expect. So I will say this though, like, if Chet not on the floor, SGA not on the floor, Jalen Williams has to be more assertive. He has to be better. He has to be more aggressive.
Yeah.
And he has to like get out of this, shooting slump, bro. Like that's the only way I see them beating Denver, bro. Like if not, like I just see Denver handling business in 7. So that's pretty much the OKC side of things. Lou Dort though, he was he showed me a little something last night. He had a pull-up midi. I didn't know he had it in his bag though.
A floater, a pull-up midi, and then he cashed out the 3 before the end of the first half. Yeah.
So that was nice, but that's pretty much it. SGA though, it was when I tuned into the game though, I think it was like the 3rd quarter, bro. Like SGA was being aggressive as heck, bro. Like he was just looking to score the ball. I was like, whoa.
He was doing his thing, man. Like SGA, he played his ass off. He had a game. It really, honestly, the difference, like for it to be a double-digit type of game, like for the Nuggets to win by 12 or whatever it was, I feel like that's all on J-Dub. Like you
definitely.
might lose the game, but you don't need to lose by 12 or 10 plus to this team. Like you're not that. The Nuggets are not that much better than the Oklahoma City Thunder, you know.
And it was like they was in the fourth quarter, like 2 minutes to go. I think he missed the three. If he would have made it, they would have been down like 6 or something like that. So, well, first I don't even know why he even took that shot. I mean, he been struggling all game. I would not have shot that. So, but anyway, that's pretty much it on OKC. Now Denver, man, the Julian Strawder game. I mean, it just speaks to the level of his professionalism too. Like to be a young player and just be ready when your name is called upon. It speaks volumes to his, character. So,
I see where you were going with that Gonzaga thing.
Yeah, but he was huge, bro. He had like 14 points or something like
15.
that. So
15
points.
from the 3.
He was huge, man, and
had a big and one in that third quarter too, I believe.
Yeah, Jamal Murray, he did what he had to do.
Yeah,
he played through a sickness, so shout out to him. My Jayhawk Christian Brown, he was huge, man. 23 points, 11 rebounds.
He was.
That was huge, bro, for sure. Man. Yeah, you felt this impact.
Champion on all levels.
He is high school, college, NBA.
Ain't that crazy? He is a good player though. Like he's solid.
Yeah, 3 years in a row to be exact, he did all that. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, it is. But he's for sure a winner. He impacts winning. And yeah, man. You know what, bro? I wanted to say this last week, but I'm gonna say it now. Michael Porter Jr. Like as much as people shit on him, I have gained like a different type of respect for him. The reason I say this is because this dude is playing through a separated shoulder.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing this dude die for loose balls and put his body on the line. Like I just gained like a different type of respect for guys like that. Like
it is interesting.
You have to commend guys on that for sure. Like, yeah, offensively it's not there. But the fact that he's just battling and just keep playing just says a lot. So I have to commend him on that. But that's pretty much it, man. Now we got a game 7. I think Denver gets it done.
Yeah, I do agree on Michael Porter Jr. though. I mean, this is a guy that had a horrible neck injury. Whether that was coming out of high school or college, I can't remember how that played out exactly anymore. But was like the highest touted guy coming out, right? And the injury just completely derails not his career. He obviously still got to the NBA as a lottery pick, but he was supposed to be the consensus number 1 pick in the draft.
He was the next Kevin Durant.
That's what they were saying. So you can still see flashes, though. Like he hits some crazy shots. His offensive bag is legit. Like shooting wise, he's a great legitimate shooter. Just gotta get healthy, man, and consistently get healthy. But he's been tough for them. He's been a key piece. And when you got guys like Strother off the bench, you got Murray in playoff mode, right? It'll come down to guys like that just hitting a few key shots. He doesn't have to go out and drop 20. Just needs to be an efficient 10 to 15, right? And that's what these guys are giving him, man. And to that point, man, we get to game 7. I have to make a pick. I'm going to go with OKC. I'm going to stick with my pick.
Oh, is that so, huh?
Yeah, J-Dub's going to have a better game. He has to.
You think so?
Play better. He'll be at home. He just has to.
So if he don't, then what they do?
If he doesn't play better, then they will rely on the role players of Denver not playing as well as they did in order for them to win the game. That's what it would take, in my opinion. It would take Aaron Gordon to have a bad game, Michael Porter Jr. to have a bad game, Christian Braun to not score 20 plus.
Okay, bro, get it,
yeah. All these bailouts for Jokic, all these bailouts to happen. That's what it'll take. No. This is like it's such an inside joke. It's not even worth getting into it on live stream.
Oh my god, I can't with this dude, bro. Yeah, you guys don't know half of the stuff I had to deal with this dude, bro.
I'm a nut. I'm a loose cannon. I'm a nuts.
But anyway, man, you got
Boston and New York.
You got OKC getting it done.
I do.
Denver going to handle business, but nonetheless, Boston and New York.
Is this series over tonight or no? Where are you at? Does it go 7?
I will say this. I do think this, man. If the Boston Celtics win tonight, I think they win this series. No, seriously, because a lot of people, like, with all due respect, Jason Tatum is their guy. He's their best player for sure. But a lot of people, when Jason Tatum went down, I think they kind of start to overlook those guys. Like, Jaylen Brown is still a guy that can go out there and get you 28 or more on any given night. Derek White. he can give you 20 or more. Peyton Pritchard, 20 or more. Drew Holiday, to some degree, can get you 20,
Luke
maybe
Cornett.
15. Luke Cornett, 7 big blocks in Game 6. So Porzingis, I'm not going to bring him up because he's clearly not right. I don't even know why he's playing for man. They should just shut him down for the rest of the season. He's clearly not fit to play. But I think that Boston wins tonight, man. I really do. Yeah.
So you have them winning the series then?
Yep.
Yeah, because it'll go back to Boston. I feel you. If they win tonight,
they're going to win, bro.
Yeah.
They're going to win.
I would lean that way if they win tonight. The big if is tonight. They're in New York. New York, it's their second opportunity to close this series out. If you're New York, to your point, you have to get it done tonight. You just have to.
You have no choice.
You have the Game 7, but do you really, man? Like, do you want to go to Boston? What, Jalen Brunson was in foul trouble in the first half? How fast? Like, you really want to go to Boston and play Game 7?
You have to consider the Indiana Pacers are waiting. They're getting their rest right now while you guys are still.
And they love to run.
Yeah.
So
you're going to need the rest for sure.
That's a great
Especially
point.
considering the fact that New York Knicks play guys heavy minutes. So
yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. They max out their starters' minutes, so those guys are going to be exhausted after the series. So yeah, they need to get it done tonight. I think something else from that Game 5, Jaylen Brown as like a playmaker.
Wait, Game 6? Yeah. No, Game 5.
It's Game 6 tonight, Game 5.
Game 5. Yeah.
Jaylen Brown, I think he had like 11 assists. It was maybe a career high for him, but
yeah, he was passing the rock.
Play like that.
I think what I seen for him the most, just how cool, calm, and collected he was on the court. Like he was just getting to his spot so smoothly. He wasn't really forcing it. He was making all the right plays and stuff. And Derrick White was serious. What, he had like 33 points?
Yeah,
or something like that. So
it's gonna lead. If they win this series specifically, they don't even have to go to the finals. If they win this series specifically, there's going to be some really uncomfortable conversations for Celtics fans. Like, is Tatum, like, if we don't have to go there yet. Like, we don't have to. They have to win without Tatum in order to go there. But just real quick before we get out of here, what are your thoughts on the Tatum injury? Just watching that live. I mean, it was obviously a little hurtful for me as a Duke fan, but.
Yeah, it was definitely hurtful for you, man. I mean, you told me I'm gonna shed a tear.
I did.
That sucks to hear, because you're like, dang.
It's like this light skin connection or something. I don't know.
The great Scotty Drown out of all people is going to shed a tear about this, but nonetheless, though, it sucks to see that, though. You know what I'm saying? Especially considering the fact that Jason Tatum was cooking in that game. He had 42 points in 40 minutes. Like, to me, though, that was Jason Tatum ultimately a FU game, if you think about it, because he was hearing all the critics, and I was one of them. I ain't scared to say it about how he was shooting too many threes during this series and things like that. And he was hitting those threes as well as just mixing it up, getting to the rim, pull up midi. He was cooking pretty much anybody that was in front of him all night. So that definitely sucks, to see a young, talented player like that go down with an injury like that, he's going to pretty much be out all of next season. So it just sucks to see. Wish him the best, speed recovery, and yeah, man.
Yeah, no, I think you hit the nail on the head, man. Definitely feel bad about the injury, but yeah, I think you covered it all there, man. I don't need to say much more. Hope he gets well. We'll see how this series finishes out, and that'll decide what our future conversations will look like. Do they move one of Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum? It's a conversation that arose before they won the ring, and now it could come back. We'll see. I know you got to get out of here, my man, so I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let the folks go on this fine Friday. Before we get out of here, Slim, anything else to end the show?
Make sure you got follow the YouTube channel To The Galaxy Pod, as well as the TikTok page at NBA To The Galaxy Pod. And me and my guy Scott will probably be back here again next week
Tuesday.
for sure. So, yeah.
Tuesday, if schedules align Tuesday, that's our goal. Be back, recap the weekend. But guys, have a great rest of your Friday. As Slim said, be sure to subscribe to the NBA To The Galaxy podcast on YouTube. Help us grow there. Get involved in the comments. That's what we love, interacting with you all out there. We will see you on the next episode. Turn those notifications on so you're notified each and every time we go live. For Slim, for myself, have a great rest of your Friday. Enjoy the hoops, man. They're almost over.